And hello, everybody. You're live Monday night with Sherry Shriner. Hope you can hear me fine. Had a lot of time this week to try to get caught up on things. Last 2 weeks have been really hectic for me. Most of you are familiar with the vicious computer attacks I've had. And so that really set me back a little bit, and I didn't want to talk about it last week, but I will this week. Some of the whole things bringing that about, I had been planning a trip to D.C. to go get Washington, D.C. With a lot of war going. And I'm pretty sure that precipitated the attacks against my computer because I ended up having to delay my trip. Say I didn't cancel. But it's getting more clear that when I'm starting to plan these Oregon trips, that they're just right on top. Were with me the whole time I was out west. Every time I've left the state, I've been hounded and harassed, and there's been periods where they've lost me, and then times where they pick me right back up again. And so this was one of those times, just planning to get to D.C., get a lot of work done there in the Potomac River, and they were able to delay this one. But you know what? There's a whole audience of you out there listening right now, and if you can get to D.C. and get some Oregon out there, then the Lord will stand you up, because when I can't do something, obviously, He will stand up other people. And so some of you need to stand up and get that area done, especially get it in the water, seeing they're fighting so hard to keep me from getting it. We just need some more Oregon out there. I've heard from people before that they went and got D.C. I'm not sure how well they got it. I know we need more out there. And so some of you need to plan trips, spending a day or two going out there, because they don't know who you are. They're watching every move I make. And so, when I go on the road, I pay cash for everything. I don't use cards, so there's no paper trail. And so it gets really hard for me to hit the road anymore. So a lot of you are going to have to stand up and get work done other than your own yards, your own neighborhoods. Yahoo Messenger is not working for me tonight. I don't know what the attitude is with that. And so if you have a question or comment, just send me an email to SherryTalkRadio@yahoo.com. And I'll try to get to questions tonight. I usually leave time for that. I did a show last week on Thursday, and it's posted at my websites, thewatcherfiles.com, SherryTalkRadio.com, and probably SherryShriner.net, with our UK correspondent, Stuart Harrison. And that was a really good show. I had a really good time. I always have a good time with the folks over at theedgeam.com. Just getting into different areas, various different areas. And so it was a really good interview. If you want to listen to that, the archives is on my site. I put it on my own server, just to try to make it a little shorter. Not so many commercial breaks and things like that you guys don't have to listen to. That's what I kind of like about my own network here. It's just like, sometimes I get real fed up and discouraged about things, and sometimes you start to wonder, am I really supposed to be in this alien agenda? Because it seems why I spend so much time on this alien agenda, everything else is happening in different agenda. And you know what? The Lord just confirmed to me this week several times that this is exactly where He wants me to be. This is exactly the route they're going. And I know this week, having one of those hair-pulling days, and he just said 3 words to me. And He always knows exactly what to say, doesn't He? He just said 3 words. He said, "Feed my sheep." And that was it. And all my hair-raising tantrums. That's all He had to say. Feed my sheep. And so I have a computer set up now to where I'm broadcasting all day. Just my archives, basically, just one after the other. Broadcasting all day on my website. Sometimes I start at noon. Sometimes I start at 8 o'clock in the morning. It really depends. I'm trying to get a handle on when people are listening. Seems like they're listening from the afternoons on at the most. And so I can't keep the computer running 24 hours a day. And so I'm probably thinking about 12 noon to 12 a.m. Eastern time, which would be 3 a.m. out west. And that would be like 8 a.m. in the UK. just running those 12 hours and just trying to get the peak audiences in that time. And so that's been a real blessing, just being able to keep that running all day and not have to worry about using my main computer for that. Another thing I wanted to encourage the War-Going Warriors out there this week, there are four rivers we need to be targeting, and that is the Potomac River. Of course, that goes through Washington, D.C., parts of Virginia. We need to get the Potomac River, the Hudson River, the Colorado River, and the Ohio River. 4 rivers that we need to be targeting. And I've been talking about, folks, how these underground alien bases are draining our water supplies for their bases, for their own use. And so Orgone to them is like garlic to a vampire. And so we need to get Orgone in the water. It will kill them off. It will keep them from taking our water supplies. It will chase them off. Maybe perhaps make them go even farther down into the earth and get water sources from inside the earth instead of on top of the earth. But that's one way to keep them underground instead of up in our hair. It would be very interesting to really just saturate Washington, D.C. and watch the effect that Oregon would have on all those shape-shifting lizards in Congress today, not to mention the White House. And so we need to step up because we don't have much more time. I posted an article on my website last week, and I didn't really talk about it during the show, I don't think. But they're stepping up their efforts to stop the Orgone Warriors. I know this was going around the internet, and the 911 Truth Movement thinks it was geared towards them, and perhaps in ways it was. But the House bill, the House of Representatives have passed recently. It's called H.R. 1955, titled the Violent Radicalization Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act of 2007. And I saw this in the Bible codes, and that's why I was laughing. I mentioned it in my interview with Stuart Harrison of The Edge. I said this bill wasn't geared towards patriots. They don't really threaten them. Oh, they're going to blast you with the truth. Well, the alien agenda is dying to do that too. And so those two agendas are kind of working alongside each other right there. Because the alien agenda, the New Age movement, is dying to expose the New World Order and how evil they all are. And it's really funny because this is what Satan does. Satan sets people up to do his bidding. And then when they do it, he pounces on them and acts like, oh, you're evil, you're an ogre, and then sits them back down. And he does it all the time, and they don't know what's going on. And, you just sit here and laugh when you see how he works. He stands a group up, and then he puts them all in jail, kills them off, paints them as evil and ogre, and they don't know what hit them. And then he goes with a different agenda. Satan has so many different agendas he works with, folks, that he just pits them against each other, and he just sits at the top as the puppet master, controlling them all. But the one agenda he can't control is the Most High's. And it's not like the Lord has an agenda. The world belongs to him to begin with, and everything in it, and all the people in it. Everybody is subservient to the Most High. It's just Satan won't acknowledge it, and he won't acknowledge it. And that's why he's going to get 3 strikes before he's ultimately cast into the lake of fire. And right now we're experiencing his second strike. Remember, his first strikeout was his initial rebellion in the Garden of Eden. Before that happened, way before the Garden of Eden, when he rebelled against the Most High and caused 1/3 of the angels to rebel with him. And out of this 1/3 of those angels, we now have just millions and millions of them because they do